players or a lot of coaches think that man marking is the best way to prevent goals on corner kicks. Not true. Any fast and or any player can shake and bake a defender in a heartbeat, right? So you want to be where the ball's going, like where the ball's gonna be, right before the opposition, and you don't have to be stagnant, right? It could be fluid, like moving like a tree, but you want to be able to be in the right place before before your attackers. On offensive corner kicks, you want to overwhelm the goalkeeper and the defenders in the area where the ball's going to be. So you want to outnumber that tight area. It's almost like you want a majority of your team in that beehive that is the area where the goalkeeper is standing and in the six, because the more people in front of the goalkeeper who can screen his vision and overwhelm the defenders, especially if you got a couple taller kids on the team, it's a toss-up. So that means the chances that the ball gets crossed in and bops either the defense or the offense and goes into the goal is very high, because there's a lot of chaos going on. So when you restrict the goalkeeper's hands and his ability to catch the ball, then you make it so that anyone who can get their head on the ball is going to score a goal. Amateur coaches can use this format every single practice for training: warm up, possession, finishing on goal, crossing and finishing, and then playing to big goals after splitting the team up into three, right? You want to split your team up into 3 teams because this encourages competitive play, and it also mimics live gameplay, and it also is going to help them transition from offense to defense rapidly and be able to switch the points of attack rapidly. When teams play against each other at the end of practice scrimmage and they only have 2 teams, there's no risk reward when goals are scored. So when you split the teams up into 3, I think this is the key point. This is the time when you cultivate the highest level of competition. So for that reason, you want a third team sitting out as bumpers on the outside. In crossing and finishing, you want 4 lines total, 2 on the outsides, alternating serving, and then you want 2 lines in the middle, crisscrossing and finishing on goal, right? All the balls are on the outside, right? And then if you don't have a backstop behind your goal, you might need to reset the balls to the wingers, right? Each winger line, because you're probably going to run out of balls. And then all lines are rotating, right? So 10 to 15 minutes crossing and finishing, then you go right into playing the big goals. For finishing on goal, the first thing you want to start off with is slotting the ball into the back of the net. So low, hard driven balls, forwards or finishers running as fast as they can into the 18 and tucking the ball away in. It's a hard driven shot / pass into the goal consistently every time. You want to make sure the players are hitting the frame of the goal. If the players are shooting and they're missing to the left and the right, I want you to tell them, make the keeper make a save, because it's like if they don't even put the ball on frame, then they're doing the keeper's job for them. Want to reward the players who are hitting the frame. So it's yes Bobby, yes Tommy, yes Robbie, yes Billy, right? The ones who are just low, hard driven ball, smoking that ball. It's like a worm burner on the ground, low, hard driven ball into the side netting, right? That's the target that's they're aiming for. That's one of the hardest places for goalkeepers to save the ball. The second part is volleys, right? After 5 to 10 minutes of finishing low and hard on the ground, you want to back the line up a little bit. Then you want to face, right? You want to face the goal. You want your players to line up to the side of you, behind you, and then you want them to get the ball in their hands. They give you the ball and they turn around and face you. So their backs to the goal. Their backs to the goal. You're facing them. You throw the ball over the head. It bounces once, and while this is happening, they spin around and one-touch volley on frame nice and easy, right? Since the ball's bouncing in the air, they don't need that much power to get a good contact and to crush the ball on frame. But it's the players who try and shoot too hard. Those are the ones who are not going to hit the target. So you want to tell them, right? Nice and easy, great contact, and almost develop what's called it's like a snap, right? They snap their leg, and it's great contact, upper 90. In terms of possession, right, you're going to be playing ideally one of 3 possession games. You want to start with either 2 team possession and then start to restrict their touch count from 2 touch with 1 on the takeover to 1 touch and 1 on the takeover. The second game that you could play is 3 team possession, like monkey in the middle, if the numbers line up, right? So let's say you got 18 field players or 21 field players, right? Whatever's divisible by 3s, and this is a lot of fun because, well, I just remember it being a lot of fun. And you got to have the pennies though, or you could go shirt skins and 1 set of pennies, depending on, if it's appropriate or not. The last game that you could play is putting small gates around the field. Players got to connect the ball to their teammates through the gates to score a point. The reason why this format of practice is so effective is because it mimics everything that you need to do effectively in the game to be successful at the lowest and the highest level. You need to possess the ball. You need to be able to finish scoring opportunities on the ground as well as in the air. And you need to be able to finish on crosses. And then you need to be able to transition rapidly from attacking to defending and defending to attacking. So just going warm up, possession, finishing on goal, crossing and finishing, and then playing to big goals on a tight field, tight and narrow, is really going to facilitate and bring about the highest level of your players. You want the final piece to be so competitive and really end on a high note that everyone's got memories of how much fun they're having at practice, which will foster great energy for your next practice. The higher the level that you cultivate a competitive environment in the final segment of playing, if your level of competition is higher in practice than it is on the field, you're going to dominate every single opponent. If your players are having difficulties dribbling, juggling, passing, or shooting, then you are no longer a soccer coach. You are now a skills development coach. And the format for a skills development coach is ball mastery, dribbling sequences, juggling and or playing the barrel game, and finally finishing with 1v1 to cones, right? Knocking each other's players' cones over with us, ideally with a small ball, right? And this mimics this almost transitions perfectly into the last segment we just talked about, right? So if they can't dribble, pass, and shoot, and juggle, dribble, pass, and shoot, then you have to help them with the fundamentals so that they can start to compete. So just being aware of their capabilities is an important, because something you'll see in youth soccer is that coaches don't know how to develop technical skills, let alone format a practice that helps them develop technical skills in a fun way, right? Because when they're that age, if you focus on fundamental skills development, you're going to raise their level of play regardless, because if they have no fundamentals, then giving them fundamentals is going to change their life.